Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
So I want to welcome you guys to Conway Glass today, and this morning we're going to share everything that we can about Conway Glass with you. And right now we are in my studio, the stained glass studio, where I build, design, cut and fabricate stained glass windows. So the project that you see here in front of me and in front of you, this is phase 2 for Drunken Jack's down in Murrells Inlet. So what we are to the point now where we need to add our reinforcing bars. So our reinforcing bar stabilizes the window because they have a lot of traffic there at Drunken Jack's, and there's always children going to push on it and everything. So these bars run vertically. This is a steel bar. Okay, and it has been dipped in tin. And because it's been dipped in tin, that's why that we can use our solder. Now I have to get the bar ready because the bar attaches to the solder joints along the window, and that's what keeps the window very rigid. So we start out with just a little bit of flux, or it's an acid, and we place it on the steel, and then you'll hear a little bit of a tsh. Hear that? And then we hold it there and let the steel get hot, and then we pick straight up, just like that, straight up. But because these lines, they run like this and then one runs like this, when you get this in the light, Katie, it moves.
It's so cool.
The water actually moves when you get it in the light. We have a lot of fun. Barbara and I have a lot of fun. We find ourselves almost enjoying ourselves too much.
I can see why,
because
though.
this is how we make our living. Yeah. And I was taught to do stained glass 44 years ago when I worked for another man. And rather than being laid off for the winter, I went to work with his wife who did stained glass windows for the company. And then I really found my joy was designing and fabricating stained glass window and making people cry.
That's a good thing to have on your resume.
I've done my job.
You've done your job. And I love that you guys, after all these years, are able to share your knowledge with so many people who have never thought that they could do stained glass.
Right.
You teach workshops, you have all these videos on social media for free that it's just out there if you want to learn.
Right, and we have our classroom. Probably our most popular class for the novice is our make and take class. The make and take class, I cut all the glass for you. Your piece, it's ready for you when you get here. And then I teach you in 4 hours the fabrication process. And
wow.
You leave with a piece of sun catcher.
Well, for someone watching right now that either wants to come take a class with you guys, wants to come by and shop all the gorgeous pieces you have here, where are you located and where can people find your website?
So we are at 708 12th Avenue in Conway. You can get a hold of us or go to our website to register for a class at conwayglass.com. We also,
social media.
We have our social media.
You have to check it out.
And you need to check out. We have over 1,000 videos, 31,000 subscribers. And on our YouTube channel, which is Arty, ARTYRV, Glass Studio, can go there and actually learn how to do stained glass by watching our videos.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
The Robeson County Church and Community Center is Robeson County's oldest and largest faith-based nonprofit, and we've been around for almost 56 years now, and we were founded during a time of a lot of turbulence in the county when we were working on racial integration and things along those lines. So we've always been about unity and bringing people together, and then along those lines, finding out what the greatest needs of people are. So, of course, in our county, it's a persistent poverty county, so things like literacy and economic development have always been, issues of concern, and so we've worked over the years on how to address those issues as effectively and equitably as we possibly could, and we always change our method of doing things dependent upon what the county needs the most. So we have a lot of fluctuation. We've had the hurricanes and we've had economic changes like NAFTA outsourcing a lot of the industrial jobs. So whatever happens, we try to just kind of shift and turn into the organization that our community needs the most. And so we've done that over the past 5 decades.
I can imagine that can be a challenge at times.
Yes, absolutely. It's a challenge to stay on our toes and be willing to shift and be willing to kind of bend ourselves around sometimes to be the most effective and accommodating. But we really believe in using our donor dollars to their greatest extent and doing the most good we possibly can. And so we know that means being very flexible.
So I guess my question would be how can people help? I'm sure you have a great website that has all the different things that you need. What do you need right now?
Yes, absolutely. And we've taken a lot of care to try to be very descriptive on our website, and we update our social media very regularly for those who are willing to follow along with us and just find out what the day-to-day more so looks like than just the big program outlook. But we always need, of course, financial support. And I think there's kind of a misconception that you have to be a wealthy person or own a business in order to support a nonprofit. But we have folks that give $5 a month. And if you really think about it, that adds up over time. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities specifically for church groups or, things like Beta Club, National Honor Society, folks that need hours, fraternities, sororities at the college level. Of course, we're very proximate to UNCP, RCC, Fayetteville State. So we always welcome volunteers. And even if you're not affiliated with a university system or anything like that, you can sign up to volunteer on our website. But also just something that's completely free is just getting the word out about our organization and sharing with folks that there's this organization within our region and community that are working really hard to address the needs of people as far as food scarcity, financial needs, medical needs. And we need for folks to kind of know we're here and, just kind of get the word out for us.
What are some of the things that you hear from community members?
It's just hard to make ends meet, even for those who are full-time employed, just, meeting the needs of the medical, buying prescriptions, paying for medical care, and then balancing groceries and paying bills and car expenses. Most people just don't seem to have enough income to cover the cost of living, and then into the kind of scenario of older adults and seniors. Of course, most of them are on a fixed income. And so it's extremely difficult to live that way when you have something like recently there was a spike in electric bills. And so when you're on a fixed income, you're expecting it to kind of be pretty consistent from month to month. And there's just nowhere to pull from when you have that spike. And so you have to rely upon the support of your family if you're very fortunate to have a family support system, but more than likely a community organization like ours to help you make ends meet.
Well, I love what you guys do. If somebody wants to learn more about y'all, stay in the loop, where's the best place to go?
Yes, our website is robisontogether.org, but also on social media, we have a Facebook and we have Instagram as well.
This story is sponsored by AIM Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Today, I am at AIM Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine, and I'm joined by Ashley. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, Ashley, tell me what brought you to AIM in the first place.
Well, I was suffering from sinusitis for almost 4 months, and after not getting anywhere with traditional treatments from, Western medicine, antibiotics and steroids and all that, I decided to give acupuncture a try, and it has been so helpful, made a world of difference.
That is awesome. So what were some of the symptoms you were experiencing over the last couple of months before you came here?
Oh, extreme pressure and dizziness all throughout my sinuses and my head. It was terrible.
So what were some of the things that you were limited to doing before?
Well, before it was just antibiotics and steroids, like one after another, and I wasn't really getting anywhere with that. So decided to give it a try.
And I will say you were the first person that I've ever talked to that's gotten sinus treatments with acupuncture before here. It's normally neuropathy, stuff like that. So how exactly does that work?
Well, they put the acupuncture needles in my face, a little bit in the top of my head, hands, feet, legs, little bit everywhere on the body, and then they do oxygen treatment on top of that, and then hook up some electrodes on patches on my body and to the needles, and I don't know what all of it does, but it really helps.
That's so awesome to hear. And I know it's really relaxing here too. You were saying that it's kind of like a spa.
Yes, very much like a spa-like environment, totally not like walking into a normal doctor's office. It's great. They have, nice soft music playing, soft lights, comfortable chairs to lay in. It's amazing.
And the big question is, how are you feeling now that you've been getting your treatments done?
Totally back to my normal self. I haven't felt, this good in months. Dr. Tanya and her staff have been great and so helpful in treating me.
That's so awesome. Yeah. It's always great to hear about how versatile acupuncture can be.
So. Oh yeah, I was so desperate to try anything to get better and get back to my normal self. I thought I'd give acupuncture a try, and it really has helped. And Dr. Tanya actually told me that I'm not the first person with sinusitis to treat, and it's really working.
This story is sponsored by AIM Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by J&K Home Furnishings.
Hi guys, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today I'm so excited to be back at J&K Home Furnishings, and I'm joined by John. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm excited to learn all that you know about design. You're a buyer here, but tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get into day to day. But we try and analyze trends and designs out in the market, and then bring them in various price points for customers to be able to use for their homes, offices, whatever space you're working on.
And what's great about y'all is that you can be fully customizable. We have this gorgeous space right here. And tell me all about this and how it works.
So this is a private collection that we curate called Jade and Kalani, and it can be anything you want it to be. That's what's so exciting. The possibilities are endless. Any color, any texture, any fabric, and paint finish, really anything you want that you can dream of.
Give me some examples of what is kind of popular right now.
So right now we have started seeing grays and blues have been so popular the past few years. And with us being at the coast, they're always going to be. But we have seen that shift a little bit, and some warmer tones, greens, more earth tones are coming in, so it's nice to see those resurface again.
Definitely. And what's cool is mixing patterns and textures,
Oh, 100%.
right?
And see, that's where our designers come in.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't comfortable with that, mixing patterns, and even when we started in this field, we all have come a long way, so we are here to guide you. Patterns, colors, textures, all of that, finding that right palette can really make your space.
Yeah, so let's talk more about customization. Are we talking like fabric, or are we talking other finishes like wood and
well,
stuff?
For example, this bed, you can see it's got a lot of texture here on the headboard. This texture is going to remain the same, but this can be any natural finish, any painted color.
Wow.
And then when you get into some of the upholstery, such as this dining table here, the chairs, you can customize with any of these fabrics. And you can see we have some coastal fabrics.
This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by J&K Home
Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined by Joshua. You are a self-proclaimed indie manga creator.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, we got to get down to the bottom of this. Tell everybody what you do and how you got into this in the first place.
So me being an indie manga creator, I've always liked anime, superhero stuff growing up. That was my main inspiration. But then I always had these ideas, like as I was going through things growing up, that I would watch movies and I was like, I could make that better. So in my head, I would like make these movies with my own characters, and I'll be sitting in class just daydreaming about these movies that I'm making in my own head. Eventually I started making an idea for some concepts for a manga, and I really didn't act on it until the passing of my mother before college, because my mom passed away then, probably 2 weeks after when my older brothers passed away. That was kind of what, I know that, I know how that's, but sometimes, you know, there's a blessing in the lesson. And in that lesson, it propelled me into acting on the things that my mom believed in me in doing. So I started with the manga. I really didn't get into after the college, where I felt like I could draw, but I wanted to draw everything myself. But I then took a course where someone was like, hey, if you can, get out of the way so somebody else can do it, because I'm looking at another 2 years if I try to learn how to do the manga style. So with that, I started on doing it. I started going to conventions, and I would first kind of pick people's brains. One of my early mentors, he was surprised because I just asked him, hey, can I get your number? Can I reach out to you if I need anything? And I was asking him 6 months later, I'm messaging him, I'm like, hey, guess who's gonna be at the same convention that you were at? And he was surprised. From there, I was just hitting it boots to the ground. And I've done PowerCon, which is a local one for Florence. I've done, I believe, I did the Grand Strand one that's down here, the Grand Strand Comic-Con. And then I recently did LA Comic-Con. So
that's big.
That was a condensing of the timeline of how we got here. But my main project, there was one time I had a dream, and it was about Camgechi. And I then started to connect the dots after I had that dream. I took a Gullah Geechee business course, and they were trying to tie in what I do into the course. They were like, why don't you do a Gullah Geechee story? And I was like, why don't I do a Gullah Geechee story? And I started connecting it, and then that's when all of this came about. And from here, I mean, this is starting to be one of the stories that, despite my main project is doing good, but as people start to hear about Camgechi, they're like, we want this.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here right now.
So you're building this world that is completely tied to your own culture.
Yes.
What has the response been so far when you tell people about this?
There's more of a surprise, actually, because no one's doing it. Yeah. I go to a lot of these conventions and I ask people, about Gullah Geechee culture, and I even talk about how a lot of African Americans don't realize here in America, 80% of us have some type of Gullah Geechee lineage, but yet they don't know that they have this lineage. So when I bring up the concept of Camgechi, I have been quizzed a little bit, but I'm doing my best as I'm learning about my own history, that I'm, putting it into the story. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is taking something that I found out about Gullah Geechee culture and find a way to twist it and putting it into the story.
It's very unique.
Very unique.
It's very cool what you do. I'm very excited to see where this goes. How can people stay updated with everything that you're doing so they can get that drop the second that it's ready?
Good question. So I have my Instagram that is @_no retreat, no surrender. That's the name of my main project, is No Retreat, No Surrender. My email is missyoujoshua@gmail.com.
Remind me of the Instagram name again.
@_no retreat, no surrender.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.